I welcome you to our YouTube channel GST with Tax Marvel. I am CA Rohit Kumar Singh, founder of Tax Marvel Consulting Services LLP. Today, in the series, we bring to you an important video on demand and recovery under GST regime. But before we proceed, don't forget to like and share our video and also subscribe to our channel. So in this video, we'll discuss in detail about the various ways where the demand of tax, interest or penalty can be made by the department, and how in case we don't pay the demand, the recovery proceedings can be initiated. The recovery proceedings can also be initiated through our customers or any person to whom from whom the money is due to be received by us, even through our bankers or post office or insurance companies from where we can receive the money or we are due to receive the money. So please see the video, friends. So section 73 to section 84 of the CGST Act 2017 deals with demand and recovery, right? Once we'll go into detail of these provisions, we'll see how, what and why the demand and recovery is initiated by department. But before that, please understand two very important factors. One is intention, right? And second is the mistake. So in case the mistake is bona fide or unintentional, you can always say that it was overlooked by me, the mistake is unintentional. Second fact, but in case the intention is to defraud or committed with a guilty mind or mens rea, we can say mens rea, in that case there are higher penalty or the chances of your imprisonment is also there. In the GST law, it is presumed, or any taxation law, it is presumed guilty mind is present. So in case if there is a short payment of tax, department will try to prove that guilty mind is there. In case the guilty mind is there, two things will happen. Number one, higher penalty, right? Second, extended period of limitation will be there. So in case of normal route, it is 3 years from date of annual return. In case of guilty mind or in those situations, the department can issue notice within 5 years also. So this is one important factor we need to keep in mind, right? So we'll go into detail. So what I have done is we'll go into each and every section and we'll try to dissect the provision of the law, right? So before we start, let us see what are the sections and how they are arranged, right? So number one is section 73, which says determination of tax paid, right? So determination of tax not paid means you have not paid the tax. Second, short paid, 100 payable, 80 you have paid. Third, erroneously refunded means you have claimed a wrong refund. Fourth, ITC wrongly availed, right? Fifth, ITC wrongly utilized. So there are 5 things which this section is talking about, right? We'll see in detail. For any reason other than fraud or willful misstatement or suppression of fact means it's a normal mistake which you did not know, so you have committed it. It means even making a mistake is gross. Quantum of penalty will depend on whether it was intentional or unintentional, right? So if it was fraud or not fraud. Section 74 is same thing. Tax not paid, short paid, refund wrongly claimed, ITC wrongly availed or ITC wrongly utilized, right? In this case, the mistake is because of fraud, willful misstatement and suppression of fact. So section 73 and 74 is more or less similar. Only thing is your intention to defraud is there in section 74. Next we'll proceed on 75, general provisions relating to determination of tax. So how will department determine your tax payment, right, in 73 and 74. Next is tax collected but not paid to government. It means you have collected from your customers but you are not paying to government, right? 77, you are not eligible to collect tax, right, but still you have collected, and you are paying to government or not paying to government. Those provisions are there. 78, initiation of recovery proceedings. So how department will start your recovery proceeding. 79, recovery of tax. 80, facility of payment of tax or other amount in installment. So government can allow or department can allow you payment of tax in installment also. Next is transfer of property to be void in certain cases. We'll see in detail. If you are a student of law or if you have studied Transfer of Property Act, this section is almost there in all the acts. Even in income tax act it is there. So you cannot alienate your property because you have a tax due, right? Then transfer of property to void in certain cases. 81. 82, tax to be first charged on property. It means if the property is sold, tax is to be first paid, right? Then 83, provisional attachment of property. In case department feels that your intention is to defraud, then your property can be provisionally attached. And last is your continuation or validation of certain recovery proceeding. So this is a kind of procedural set of your sections which is there. So what we'll do is we'll go one by one, right? Now we'll see section 73 and 74. The basic difference between these two sections is simple. Your intention to defraud, right? Now, how will department prove your intention to defraud? You have filed your return, right? Instead of 100 rupees of tax, you have paid 80 rupees. Your book says 100, you have paid 80. It means there is an intention to defraud. You cannot say, okay, no, I have made a mistake, because you are the best judge of your accounts and books, right? So section 73 is applicable in case of non-payment, short payment of tax, in case of fraud, without fraud, or willful misstatement or suppression of fact. So it means there is no suppression of fact, right? Next, 74, similar, but there is a guilty mind present in your act. Mens rea is present, and you have knowingly committed a fraud or willful misstatement or suppressed facts, right? You have suppressed the facts. So if you see, in both the cases, proper officer will issue a show cause notice. Show cause notice is the starting point of any litigation or a communication from department, which will tell you, okay, you have filed your return, we have verified the return, and we find that there is short payment of tax, non-payment of tax, or refund you have wrongly claimed, right? You have wrongly availed ITC, wrongly utilized ITC. So these 5 facts, any of these, the department will issue a show cause notice, right? What will happen is, you have taken a stand that your product is taxable at 5%. Department is saying your product is taxable at 12%. So there is a short paid because of department angle. And they have issued a notice for 1 year. 2018-19 they have issued a notice and detailed they have given. Next year also you are doing the same thing, and department is contending, no, you are supposed to pay tax at 12%. So for the next year what we will do is, they will not issue a detailed notice. What they will do only is, previous notice they have issued, they have given the detail, this notice summary they will issue, and they will add the amount to be paid, right? So mere statement, so see what it is telling, mere statement containing non-payment or short payment can be served for subsequent period, means continuing period. If it is a continuing, a recurring issue between you and department, so for the subsequent period, department can issue a simple statement instead of detail show cause notice if the ground are identical to one which was raised in the previous year or previous period, right? So in case of mistake, so there is a genuine mistake which you have made, which is not fraud, then department must issue notice 3 months prior to time limit for issue of notice, right? And in case of your willful default, it is 6 months prior to the issue of order, right? So in case of non-willful default, the order is to be issued within 3 months from the issue of notice. In case of willful, 6 months time. But then when can they issue notice? So for the period of 18-19, suppose there is no mistake which you have made, it's a bona fide. So then they will issue 3 years from the date of furnishing annual return, due date of furnishing annual return. So 17-18 due date of annual return was January 2020. So till January 2023, they can issue a notice for demand in case there is no suppression of fact or fraud. In case which they tell that there is a suppression of fact, they can issue notice up to January 2025. This is where you should not ask for extension of time for filing of annual return, because the power will be vested to the department and additional time will be given to them for completing the compliance, right? So department can issue notice from up to 3 years or 5 years from the date of due date of filing of annual return, right? So due date, if the due date is for 17-18, it is January 20, and 18-19 it is September 20. Again you are all asking there should be an extension. So if there is an extension, 3 year or 5 years from the extended due date, so it is better not to ask for any extension and close the annual return within due date, right? We'll proceed next, friends. Now there is a good point to it, that okay, interest and tax amount is to be payable, right? Agreed. Then a penalty is also there, because I made a mistake. So any mistake in the GST law or any tax law will come with a rider of penalty. So in case it is a it's a issue where fraud or willful misstatement or suppression of fact is not there, or department has not issued your show cause under section 74, it is under 73. Then before show cause notice, if you department has asked for detail and you have given the detail, after giving the detail you have verified and you found out okay there is a mistake. So what you did is you on your own paid the tax, paid the interest, so penalty is not payable. Second, 30 days after issue of show cause notice. So once you receive the show cause notice and then you verified, and after verification you thought okay that's a mistake from your end, no problem, because actual sales is 10 rupees, you have declared 8 rupees, 2 rupees is a short sales, right? Or input credit you have availed on purchase of motor vehicle, like BMW car, which was not to be availed, so wrongful availment of ITC. So what you can do is you can pay the basic amount, tax and interest. In this case also there is no penalty. Third, show cause notice is received, you have replied. So after 30 days from the show cause notice or after issue of the order, so demand order they will issue, show cause notice they will issue, you will reply, and then they will have a hearing, and then they will issue a demand notice. So after issue of demand notice, the penalty amount is 10% of tax or 10,000, whichever is higher. So higher of the two. Now same situation, there is a willful fraud, or you knew that there is a mistake and still you committed. Okay, we'll see, I will see, no problem, I know, we'll see. Department is asking for detail, but wrongly you are giving wrong details. Then department has come for audit and then they verified that okay there is a problem, you have falsified your books and whatever it is, so you are falling under section 74. In that case, before show cause notice, 15% of the tax amount is to be paid as penalty. Within 30 days from the show cause notice, 25%. After 30 days from the date of order, 50% of tax amount, and if beyond that period, it is 100% of the tax amount, right? So this is section 73 and 74. We'll proceed to the process. Section 75, general provision relating to determination of tax, right? So how the department will determine tax payable which is due. So even if you don't get a notice, this provision is applicable. So these provisions are applicable irrespective of whether or not notice is invoked, right? So the period will get extended. It means department has issued a show cause notice and you filed a writ petition to the High Court. Straight away you went to the court and filed a writ petition. So High Court said, okay, till the pending hearing, the matter is stayed. It means neither department can do anything nor you will have to do anything. In this case, what will happen is the time, so the period from the time the court stayed the order till the time court gave the final hearing, that period is not to be computed in your 3-year or 5-year, right? Next, in case department has issued notice under section 74, 74 means fraud or knowingly committing a crime, or in that way that you knowingly were not submitting detail or knowingly committed a fraud or willful misstatement or your suppression of fact, right? Suppression of fact. In that case, what will happen is you contested this fact that my intention was not to defraud, and this fact is sustained. It means court has said no, there is no fraud. This assessee has always given the return. Assessee has given all the documents. Everything is submitted all the time. If this is proved, then the case will be treated as section 73. Section 73 means you pay the tax, you pay the interest, but again the penalty will be treated as a section 73. So no penalty before show cause notice, no penalty within 30 days of the issue of show cause notice, or 10% penalty after show cause notice, and all that will sustain. So section 74 will not stand, right? So the order in the direction of appellate authority, appellate tribunal will see what is appellate authority, appellate tribunal, or a court. Court means your High Court or Supreme Court, shall be issued within 2 years from the date of communication of said direction. So once the order of High Court is issued, you have to go and submit the order to the department for their execution, right? So in that case, 2 years the department has to, within 2 years they have to complete the order and they will issue the order, right? Next, what will happen that the court has said no, section 73 is not applicable, 74 is applicable. In that case, if the adverse action is proposed against you as an assessee, it's a golden rule or a rule of jurisprudence that opportunity of being heard should be given. So either you or your legal representative should be given a chance to have a personal hearing or submit your case through writing or personal hearing if you wish to, right? Before without that the case should not be disposed, right? Now we'll move to next section 75, general provision relating to determination of tax. Same section is there. So personal hearing can be adjourned, but maximum 3 adjournment is granted. So you cannot say each and every time, sir, accounts person is not there, sir, the books are not there, or I am not able to locate the books, the managing director is in USA, so he is not coming now. So whatever it the reasons be, maximum 3 adjournment can be granted, right? Then on the final outcome, your tax amount, interest and penalty will not exceed what is mentioned in the show cause notice. So it should not happen. Department will say during the hearing, oh, I made a mistake and I did not add this amount, I did not add that amount, I did not add this sales. For that they have to issue separate notice. But this notice will be heard based on the show cause issued by the department, right? There is a hearing in your tribunal, court or whatever appellate authority, and they said, okay, basic amount of tax is reduced by 20%. So corresponding your interest and penalty will also be reduced. So if your original demand was 10 lakh rupees and 18% interest on 10 lakh was to be payable, right? And 10% penalty on the tax amount was to be payable, and it was quantified in the notice. After the hearing, out of 5 grounds, 2 grounds were dropped, and now the revised demand is 6 lakh rupees. So your 18% on 6 lakhs will be payable, and penalty of 10% on 6 lakh will be payable irrespective of your original show cause notice, right? Even if department does not mention interest, interest will be payable in all the cases. So you cannot say, sir, oh, you did not mention interest, so I will not pay the interest, I will only pay the tax amount, right? If the department forgets to issue notice within 3 years or 5 years, so they came after 6 years and they found out that the same mistake is being carried out by within from the last 6 years. So for the first year they cannot do anything because 5 years is already passed. For the previous 5 years they can issue notice to you. So it is deemed as rate of interest in case of your tax is 18%. In case of unavailed ITC or wrong availment of ITC, it is 24% per annum, right? Next. So this 3-year or 5-year limitation period will not include 1, 2, 3. What is 1, 2, 3? Number 1, first appellate authority has given the decision and appeal is pending, right? So 1, 2, 3 is same: appellate tribunal, appellate authority, and high court. In all the 3 cases, your appeal is pending. So you won, department went into appeal, department won, you went into appeal and all. So this 3 years or 5 years will not get counted within the period when the appeal was pending or there was a stay in the matter, right? Next. There is an order, right? And there is a time limit to appeal, and you have not appealed within the time limit or extended period of limitation. Then whatever amount is mentioned in the order is to be recovered as per section 79. We'll see section 79, right? Now once you have paid the penalty under section 73 and 74, same penalty will not be levied again, right? Now there is an interesting section, and this is very important for all of us. Many a times it happens that I am not filing my return, or 3B I am not filing, I am not paying the tax. It means you have collected an amount but not paid to the government. It's a very serious offense. Section 76 says tax collected but not paid to government. So any person who has collected any amount from any person representing as tax under this act and has not paid to the government, it means I sold goods, I collected GST, and I am not paying to government, right? That person should immediately pay the amount to the government, whether or not that supply was taxable or not. So I am dealing in sale of vegetables. Tax is not applicable on vegetables, there are exempt supplies, but still I have collected 5% GST from all my customers. So you cannot pocket that amount, right? Such amount shall be payable along with interest and if penalty applicable, right? If I am saying no, I don't agree to payment of this kind of tax because it was not exempted and customers have given me whatever, this is the basic price, but my invoice says GST separate. So if I am giving this reason, I have to give a reason or cause of it why I am not willing to pay the tax collected to the government, right? Government will issue a show cause notice to me, and then they will say why the amount of this should not be collected as tax, and why an interest of 18% should be levied on you, and why a penalty of 50% should be charged on you. They will issue a show cause, right? So you have to reply. Proper officer will issue an order within 1 year from the date of issue of the notice. Show cause whatever they will issue. In case there is a stay by court or appellate tribunal, the period of stay will not be counted for the period of 1 year. Right. So then the the proper officer can issue when the stay is vacated. So if the stay is there for 4 months, then the department can issue order up to 16 months, 12 plus 4. Right. Proper officer has to set out relevant facts and basis. This is very important and basic principle of law. Reasoned decision, or anyone who is imposing a penalty, who is collecting or issuing notice, the order should have a detailed reason. He cannot say, no, you please pay 5 lakh rupees. He has to issue a detailed reason for it. Right? Whatever amount is collected shall be adjusted against your final tax payable. So government has said no, 50,000 rupees you have to immediately pay because these 10 invoices is there, and then they will assess your liability. So whatever liability will be there, this amount of 50,000 will be adjusted against that. If any surplus is left after adjustment, so the surplus will be credited to the fund, right? Or refund to the person who has borne the incident of such amount. Means my customers. So department can say, call your customers, will refund whatever amount you have collected to them. If they are not traceable, then this will be credited to the fund, right? In case the customer comes and says, I have wrongly paid, I should not have paid. So the customer can apply for a refund. So the person who has borne the incident of the amount means who has actually paid the tax, can apply for a refund as per section 54. Again, wherever section 54 is coming, then again the time limit of 2 years will always apply, right? Next, tax wrongfully collected and deposited with state or central government, section 77. Previous section, it was only a person means it can be unregistered also. So I am not registered under GST, but I am issuing invoice and collecting GST. This section is I am registered person, and it is very important. I have in last I think 7-10 days I have 2-3 queries on this, and the amount is huge. Number 1, I am registered in West Bengal and my customer is located in West Bengal, right? And I am selling to the customer. Instead of CGST and SGST, I charge IGST, right? I charge IGST. And subsequently I realized, okay, that is a mistake. It's not an interstate transaction, it's an intrastate transaction. So in that case, the law says pay the correct tax and claim the refund wrongly paid, which means in case of intrastate transaction, pay CGST, SGST and get the refund of IGST wrongly paid. Same way for interstate, pay IGST and collect CGST and SGST. Here, interest is not applicable. Why? Because I have already paid the amount to the government, but under the wrong head. Under the wrong head means under CGST or SGST. But if you'll see here, department is not allowing refund in these provisions. They are saying that refund is time barred, means 2 years is already passed. But if you'll ask me, this refund is not governed under section 54. This refund application is a separate refund application. It means, as per me, the time limit for claiming a refund of 2 years from the relevant date is not applicable here. But again, it's a litigative issue. The litigation will surely come because most of the people have made a mistake here that they have paid wrong type of tax, right? Wrong. So instead of CGST, SGST, I paid IGST, or instead of IGST, I paid CGST or SGST. So Number one, pay correct tax. Without paying correct tax, you cannot claim refund. And after that, you claim refund. It is very difficult to tell the department for refund, right? Initiation of recovery proceeding. So, initiation of recovery proceeding. It means department has issued a notice, we have replied, there is a hearing, and department has issued an order to pay the tax. Now you are saying, I'll see. I don't want to pay anything. I am not paying. Okay? Department, whatever order is issued, they have issued. That's a big mistake. So if the amount on which the order is stated, tax, interest and penalty, and if you are not paying within 3 months from the date of service is important. That is where we keep on telling everyone, whenever you receive a notice from department, on the envelope, write the receipt date. Because the stamp may have a different date, the receiving may have a different date, right? Within 3 months, if you don't pay, then department will start recovery proceeding. It means they will start the recovery of unpaid tax, interest and penalty from you. But what happens is, department thinks they should not wait for 3 months. They should not wait for 3 months. The matter is such that if they wait for 3 months, they may not get any money. In that case, they have to record this reason in writing, and they will immediately ask the taxable person before 3 months to pay. So they will not wait. So once the order is issued, they will start follow up. So they will issue a further reminder that pay the tax within 7 days. Will not allow 3 months time, right? Pay the tax within 7 days, because we believe reason number 1, 2, 3 that you might not pay at all, right? Next, recovery of tax. It is important to understand. Now, method of recovery. How will government recover from you? And it is very important to understand the method of recovery, because there are certain modes of recovery which we all are not aware of. Department can take any action for recovery of tax. It is as good as your government ka tax lying with you with interest and penalty. So when any amount is payable by any person, that person is referred as defaulter. Defaulter means you have defaulted in payment of tax, interest or penalty given in the order, right? So the officer can adopt one or more method. Method number 1, deduction out of any money owing to defaulter. It means I have a due of 50,000 rupees and I have claimed a refund of 2 lakh rupees. Department will say, I will deduct 50,000 out of the refund amount. So condition number 1, there should be any money owed by the government to the defaulter, means government has to pay something to the defaulter. Then the amount payable or in the show cause notice or the order is to be deducted, right? The proper officer can deduct or specify any other officer to deduct, right? So what will happen is, refund is other section, some other officer is dealing in your refund, and order is issued by some other division or department. So what they will do, they will internally communicate and say, instead of 2 lakh rupees, deduct 50,000 for the amount, right? Number 1. Number 2, by detaining and selling goods belonging to defaulter. It means there are goods which is lying with the officer. What they will do is, they will ask you to pay the amount in the notice or order. If you don't pay, then the goods can be detained or sold by the proper officer, right? Whatever amount is realized, they will adjust the amount to be paid as per tax or interest or penalty, right? Next, it is important, recovery from some other person. It means I have 1 lakh tax to be payable to department, 50,000 your penalty and 20,000 interest. So 1,70,000 is payable. Now government will say, okay, you don't want to pay, I'll see. Then what they will do, they can issue notice to your customer, to your banker, to your insurance company, to your post office even, if they know that some money is lying with them. So understand, it is a very serious implication that if you start, if you don't pay the government money, they have modes by which they can recover. So number C, recovery from any person who owes money to defaulter, section 79. So it applies to any person who is liable or likely to be liable, right, to pay money to the defaulter. Means my customers are there, so I have already made sales, they are supposed to pay money, right, they are supposed to pay money, right. So or they receive money on my behalf, so they may receive money on my behalf. So department, what they will do is, in such case, department will issue a notice to that person or your customer or the person who was supposed to hold money on your behalf, that 2 lakh rupees is payable to government by your supplier, please deposit it to the government, right. The amount shall be, if the amount payable is more, then whatever amount is due, government will deposit that. If the amount is less, entire money deposit to the government, right. Once the notice is issued, the person to whom this notice is issued is liable to or bound to comply. He cannot say, I'll ignore and pay to the customer. Why? In case if he does so, he is also treated as default person, right. And in case a notice issued to the post office, banking company or an insurance company, they are also required to pay the money to the government without insisting for a passbook or a deposit receipt or a policy, right. So they will not ask for any document. Generally, if you go and take the claim from insurance company, they will ask for policy copy and proof of taking policy. But when the government will issue a notice on your behalf to the insurance company, they have already come to know that you have taken an insurance policy, claim is payable. In that case, they can demand from this entity also. So the government can demand or send a notice to your customer, to any person whom the money is received on your behalf, to insurance company, to bank, your bank also, and to post office. Most of the cases, if you will see in a real life situation, this department attaches your bank account. Attaches your bank account means they will freeze your transaction in the bank account, and then they will say whatever amount is lying in the bank, it should be forthwith transferred to the government. Then what we do, we run to the department and say, okay, please release, issue the release order, we'll pay the amount to you, but please for the time being ask the banker not to stop our transactions, right. Next, if the banker or any person who fails to comply with this notice, he is also treated as defaulter for the amount mentioned in the notice. So out of 1,70,000 payable, department has issued a notice of 50,000 rupees to the bank. So if the bank still does not comply, the banker is default for 50,000 rupees, right. I paid the entire amount to the government. I said, okay, I don't want all this hanky panky. I have somehow arranged the money and I paid the tax to the government, tax interest penalty. Then the government will amend or revoke this order, and if I still don't pay, they will extend the time for making of any payment, right. Any person who makes payment in accordance with the notice issued, like banker or your customer or post office or insurance company, they are considered to have the authority to make payment on behalf of the defaulter. So they don't want to ask for a separate power of attorney and all. So they already is granted as an authority. And then you cannot go and later on say how you paid to the government, what is the contract you have with the government. So later on, you cannot file any civil suit or recovery suit from the bank. because they have paid on the notice by the department to the government, right? Now there are situations where bank, insurance company, or your customer, or any person whom the money is to be received can say this notice is not applicable to me. Situation number one, when the money is demanded was not due to person in default. It means government has issued a notice to the customer and customer said I have already paid everything to him, nothing is payable, so he is not default person, right? Second, at the time of notice I did not hold any money on your account, so it means I don't have anything to pay. Third, the money is not demanded from that person. So I have 4 customer, I have issued, I have sold goods to 4 customer. So department has issued notice to 3 customer, not the 4th customer. So 4th customer will not be treated as default, right? Then the money demanded is not likely to become due to such other person. Like last, the money is not on account of such person. So these are the conditions where the banker or your insurance company or your post office will say I am not liable. So even if you issue notice to me, I am not personally liable, right? Then fourth method of recovery, collection by detention of any movable or immovable property. So what government will say? Okay, your goods are lying in the godown. I will seize your godown or seal your godown. So you pay the money, I'll seal. So if any amount is payable or the rent is not paid by you and the landlord is telling that I'll not let this goods stay here. So department has said okay, we'll pay the rent on that behalf. So this rent will also be adjusted towards the recovery amount, right? And department has sold your goods. So whatever surplus is there will be given to you. So your goods value 10 lakh rupees, your demand is 3 lakh rupees, department has sold for 8 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh they will return back to you. So they will return 5 lakh to you. Okay, you keep this 5 lakh, we have taken 3 lakh rupees. Now next, recovery through district collector. So now department is saying okay, I am not able to recover. They will go to the district collector, right? And they will prepare a certificate and they will send the certificate to the district collector where you have your house or property or you are residing or you have a business. Then the district collector will recover, means they will dispose of your house or office or property, right? Recovery through magistrate. So now even the district collector has failed, or it's an additional method. So instead of district collector, they have gone to magistrate. What they will do? They can arrest you. So this provision has overriding effect on Code of Criminal Procedure. It means no case, nothing. They can directly approach the magistrate, right? The proper officer will file an application before the appropriate magistrate, and the magistrate will proceed to recover the default amount, right? Under the GST Act, there is a requirement to execute bond or other instrument. So if you have provided any bond, then recovery is discussed separately. It is also provided that the SGST officer, while recovering the SGST arrear, shall also recover CGST amount, right? And after recovering, they will pass it on to CGST. So you cannot say no, you are a SGST officer, I'll only give a SGST portion to you. CGST I did not get any notice, so I'll not pay. So both you have to pay. SGST officer will pass it on to the CGST or concerned state government, right? If the amount recovered by SGST officer is small, lesser amount, right? So it will be equally distributed in the proportion of the due. Say if the out of 2 lakh rupees due, 1 lakh is CGST, 1 lakh is SGST, and you paid 1 lakh rupees. So 50,000 will go to SGST, 50,000 will go to CGST as recovery of tax, and balance 50-50 will be due, right? Next, payment of tax or other amount in installments. Now you can tell government that I am under severe financial stress, give me an installment facility, right? So a taxable person can make payment in installment, right? Other than your self-assessed tax, it means whatever monthly 3B you have to file, that you have to pay in once. You cannot say that monthly 3B amount is huge and I am going to offer installment. No. Self-assessment tax, there is no installment. So installment means EMI, right? Whatever the period is agreed, and interest is also applicable. So commissioner or chief commissioner has power to grant make payment under installment. If you go to GST portal, there is an application called application for payment of tax under installment. You can make an application. So department has issued order to you. By that order, 50 lakhs is payable. So you don't have 50 lakh rupees, you can go and apply for installment and say, I'll pay this 50 lakh rupees in 6 equal installment and interest I'll pay. Right? So such option is available only when you make an application in writing. So in the portal, you have to make an application. Right? Chief commissioner or commissioner can extend the time or can reject also. You cannot say, no, I have right to take the installment. Right? The installment should not exceed more than 24 months. So 24 months is the maximum installment, right? Interest is also payable from day one till the last installment, right? Even if there is one default, you have to pay the whole amount without further notice. It means if government has agreed or chief commissioner or commissioner has agreed, you pay the amount in 6 installment each and every month. And suppose in 1 month you make a default without any further notice, remaining installment whatever 3, 4, 5 is left, you have to pay the entire installment immediately, right? Now transfer of property void in certain cases. It's a very interesting section, please understand. What will happen is that I have 1 crore tax to be paid to the government, and I know that it's a genuine tax which I have not paid. I have a factory building. What I have tried is, once I received the notice from department, I immediately sold off my factory building after receipt of notice. So my intention is, let government come, they will not get anything. Why? Because whatever the property I had, I have already sold off, right? So my intention is to defraud. So in that case, section 82 is important to understand. This section is to protect the government revenue. So the said provision is for protecting the government revenue by avoiding transfer of property by a taxable person to other person. So I cannot alienate my property. Alienate means dispose of my property knowing that I have a tax due. This is only applicable when the tax is due, right? Now, once the person to whom the property is sold, what is his fault? So case 1, he knew, and I told I have a tax to pay. This property is 1 crore. You pay 50 lakh rupees. So I paid 50 lakhs and I purchased the property. In that case, the purchaser cannot take the shelter. So now let us see when the property will become void. So I have created a charge on the property. Second, the taxpayer to whom the which has a government demand has part with the property. Part means sold. So create a charge or part with the property belonging to him, means me, right? By way of sale, mortgage, exchange, or any other mode. So these are the, if I try to sell or create a charge my property, by way of sale or mortgage exchange, whatever it is, it will become void. Now, when it will become valid? Number one, property is 1 crore. I have sold it for 1 crore. So then it is valid. Second, within that, without notice of pendency, means the purchaser does not know that there is a notice, right? And with the previous permission, so I told my tax officer that okay, 50 lakhs is payable, I don't have cash, give me time to sell off my land and or my office building. If I sell my office building, right, if I sell my office building, in that case I'll pay you 50 lakh rupees and my office building will be sold for 1 crore. Officer said okay, I am giving you permission, but the amount is to be paid immediately, right? Crux is, if there is any intention to defraud the government or revenue, the transfer is void, right? Now, tax to be first charged on property, section 82. So this provision of this section will apply to a taxable person or any other person who is liable to pay tax, interest or penalty, right, to the central or state government. So understand one thing, I have a property, out of the tax is due, I have to pay someone some amount, third party, I have to pay my suppliers. So any liability to be paid to central or state government will be given a priority. It means my ranking of receipt or entitlement to recover money is higher if I am a state or central government, right? So even if the person is other than taxable person, means legal representative, member of partitioned HUF, means my relative was dealing in GST and he has a due. After his death, I inherited the property. So the government will say, okay, you sell off the property and you pay the amount first to the tax and then you can keep the remaining money, right? So this is there. Now, provisional attachment to protect revenue in certain cases. So certain cases will be there where department will provisionally attach, means first attach and then they will talk to you. What are those cases? There is a pending proceeding going on against, number one, assessment of non-filers of return, means I have taken a registration but since last 2 years I am not filing any return or not paying any tax. Second, assessment of unregistered person. My sale is 3 crore rupees a year and my goods are taxable, but still I am not registered. It means I am deemed to get registered, I should have paid the tax, but I am not doing anything. My sale is beyond the threshold in that case. Third, summary assessment in certain cases where the department will say, we summary assess because you are not replying to notice, you are not anything. Inspection, search or seizure. Department has come for search or seizure and they have verified, and as per their opinion 100 crore of ineligible ITC is availed or bogus ITC is availed. I have to pay this 100 crore. In that case, department will not go for anything. They will provisionally attach the property, means bank, attach the bank, attach the property transfer and all, right? Section 73 and 74 also, they have power to provisionally attach, means where the notice is issued. But agreed, this is a very grave section. This is the provision where department will go till the at the end. They cannot immediately come and say no, I'll straight away attach. They cannot. So provisional attachment of property of taxable person can be undertaken by the commissioner only. Only condition is there should be an opinion that it is in the interest of the government to protect the revenue, then they can provisionally attach. So if I am saying no, I have money in the bank, I have issued a letter that I'll pay tax. In that case, government has assessed that okay, I have money and I have intention to pay. They cannot then provisionally attach, right? Attachment is valid for 1 year from the date of order made by commissioner. So this attachment is for 1 year, not beyond that. continuation and validation of certain recovery proceeding, right? Now what happens is, most of the time we have seen that I have lost my case with the department and immediately I'll go to appeal. So section 84 says continuation and validation of certain recovery proceeding. It means this section deals with continuation of proceeding where notice is already served for recovery of government dues. Means I have a order and I have order but still I am not paying. So government has issued a notice for recovery. 3 months the deadline was there. So once the notice for recovery is issued and appeal or revision application, there is reduction or enhancement in the government dues. Then in case of appeal, if the amount is increased or decreased, this recovery proceeding will not get lapsed, it will continue, right? This section refers to any notice of demand in respect of government dues like tax, interest and penalty served on taxable person, and appeal revision is filed, right, in respect of such an government dues. Further, government dues may be enhanced or reduced in an appeal. In such cases, commissioner will serve another notice in respect of enhanced amount. So 50 lakh rupees was ordered. After the appeal, the amount becomes 75 lakhs. So first the commissioner issued a recovery proceeding for 50 lakhs. He will add 25 lakhs again. He will issue a separate order for recovery, right? If the notice of demand is already served on taxable person before such appeal, revision or proceeding, the recovery amount will be continued from the stage at which the institution. So till the time this appeal is pending, right? Till the time this appeal is pending, the demand will be stayed. Once the appeal is vacated or I have lost my case, immediately they will not issue any fresh notice for again recovery. The order issued earlier will start valid. Okay? In case the government dues are reduced, the commissioner is not required to issue a fresh notice for reduced amount. They will only tell, okay, the amount is reduced from 50 to 30, pay 30. Friends, thank you for watching our video, and we hope that you enjoyed this learning series GST with Tax Marvel. And don't forget to share, like and subscribe our videos, and do also tell your friends or colleagues who want to make their career in GST or want to get updated on GST aspects. Thank you friends. Thank you.